Aerialist Jen Bricker. She was born without legs and given up on at birth pretty much, but the hand of destiny brought her an amazing adoptive family who taught her to never say the word can't.
But her story just gets more and more amazing. Now, as a child, Jen was obsessed with gymnastics, and she grew up idolizing gold medalist Dominique Moceanu. You remember her? Well, in fact, Jen says that just watching her Olympic idol is what inspired her to compete, and she did it against all odds. Now, fast forward years later, here's where Jen's story takes an amazing twist. As it turns out, Jen learned that her childhood idol, again, Dominique Moceanu, was actually her biological sister.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So today, Jen's a motivational speaker and New York Times best-selling author, and says everything is possible. It is incredible.
Yeah, and Javier is privileged enough to be with Jen Bricker right now. Hey, Javi.
Yeah, and how are you not inspired by this amazing story? Jen Bricker, you just made mention of her best-selling book here, Everything is Possible, and when you hear her story, you have to truly believe. We are joined by Jen Bricker right now. Thank you very much for your amazing aura that you just bring. I mean, lots of energy. We were just talking. Let's take us back, because we want to start with your family gave you up when you were a child because they thought you would face some hardships in life. Quite the contrary, the adopting family says, no, we are going to make her a winner.
Yes, my family that adopted me, they were the family I was meant to be with. They said, never say can't, you know, everything is possible, but it's more than the words, it was with their actions that made it powerful. Never discouraging me, always encouraging me, filling me with love and self-esteem and confidence. And when I said I wanted to come and do softball, basketball, volleyball, power tumbling, all with able-bodied athletes, there was no discouragement. There was no, how are you going to do that? It was, okay, let's figure it out.
And with that being said, I mean, you went on to just perform amazingly, especially when you talk about gymnastics and tumbling and like that, and you won state titles.
I did. I didn't realize at the time why everyone thought it was such a big deal, right? But I was the first and I think only person to compete in power tumbling like that, and then as an adult, you know, first person to be in the entertainment industry as an acrobat and aerialist. So, you know, it's kind of an interesting being the first in those fields and seeing the different reactions and seeing how things change with time.
Let's talk about this interesting twist here.
Yes.
You were always fascinated by Dominique Moceanu. What was it about her that drew you?
Well, I knew she was Romanian, I knew I was Romanian, and we looked alike. And so as a kid, you know, 8 years old, growing up in the middle of nowhere where nobody looks like you, it was really cool. And I was like, what? And she's Romanian, and she does gymnastics, and I loved everything about it, and I just felt a bond with her.
All right, so explain the connection to the folks out there, how you eventually found out that you were actually her biological sister.
Yeah, so my mom figured it out when I was watching her on TV, and they pan to the audience and show Dimitri and Camelia Moceanu, and something sparked. My mom remembered it, went and got the adoption papers that she wasn't supposed to have, and just put it all together and like, oh my gosh, they're related. And then I found out right before I turned 16, and then I spent a 4-year journey trying to contact Dominique and my younger sister Christina, and was finally successful, and we all met in 2008.
Take us back to when you first learned that your idol was in fact your sister.
Yeah, I mean, it was, of course I was shocked. I was like, well, what? This is crazy. Who does this happen to? And then I was excited, you know, I grew up with brothers. I had 3 older brothers, and now I had 2 sisters. And so I thought, man, this is so cool. What a crazy turn of events. And it just pushed me to really keep trying to let them know that I existed, to find them. And so that kept me motivated to just find them, you know. And it wasn't an easy road for 4 years. It had to be done right. It had to be done with finesse. And so finally was successful in 2008. And when we all met, it was surreal, but very natural. I mean, it doesn't even make sense to say that, but that's how it was. You know, there was DNA that bonded us, but then there were differences in how we were raised so oppositely, you know.
Let's talk about today's luncheon, because there's a luncheon at 11 o'clock. Tickets still available here at the Canby. What is the message you want people in attendance to take away from you?
Many messages, but really important that people can understand that they're significant. They have something to offer the world, They bring something to the table, so to speak, and it's through their gifts and talents and passions and the abilities that we each have that are unique to all of us that can actually change people's lives. I just know that to be true. I've seen it all over the world, and I hope that people can realize they're significant, they matter, and that they can kind of think, man, what is it that I love, and how can I use that to change somebody's life? Because that's powerful.
And more importantly, you've lived it. You've lived it.
Thank you.
Her book is available here again, luncheon at 11 o'clock here at the Canby. An amazing, amazing opportunity to meet you. I told you I saw your story 5 years ago on Real Sports and have just been absolutely awed by it. So it's a pleasure to meet her. If you have an opportunity, come on out and enjoy the luncheon and listen to this very powerful message.
Yeah, you are right. What an inspiration.